By the end of the tutorial, you guys will know how to make this awesome documentary style motion graphic animation in the DaVinci Resolve free version. Alright, first of all, we're staying on the Fusion page here, and we're just gonna go ahead and bring all the media assets, which I have a link below so that you guys can follow along easily. Now let's go ahead and project this background grid node on the screen. And one thing you will notice is that the size is different from your current timeline resolution. So what I would do here is to just plug in a resize node right after, and you guys can see that it will just automatically correct the size to align with the current timeline resolution. The next thing I'm going to do here is to bring a recolor crocodile node, which is new in DaVinci Resolve 21, and it can help you change the background color very easily. So I'm going to first of all change the number of colors to just one, and then select a new color first, which is going to be beige, and this is the color that I had in mind. Now let's go ahead and use this pencil dropper here to select the color that you want to change. So now as you can see, it will just easily change this background to whatever color that you want. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is just to bring a grain node and change the power and the grain size setting just ever so slightly. This will just add some extra texture to this background. Now let's just go ahead and connect this doctor picture to the background as a foreground. Now in the merge node, we are going to first of all change the size setting, just bring that up a little bit, and then we're going to change the center setting so that the picture is positioned just slightly off center. Now let's go ahead and just plug in a shadow node right after, and we're going to just bring up the softness setting. Now you can override this manually, so I'm going to actually change it to 0.2, and then if this is too strong, you can always adjust the alpha setting here until you get the desired shadow look that you had in mind. Now let's just keep going with the next picture here. Let's connect it to the merge node as a foreground. We're going to once again change the size, change the center setting here, change the position, and then we're going to once again bring a shadow node. Now for this one, I'm going to leave the softness setting at 0.1. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Now for this one, I'm going to first of all place it on an angle. So let's change the angle setting here, and then we're going to just bring up the size, change the position, and then that's mostly it. So now let's just go ahead and bring a shadow node. This one, I'm just going to make sure to leave it at 0.1. All right, now let's move on to the next one here. So for the next one, this is gonna be now the second half of our canvas. So we're going to move it over to the left-hand side of our canvas here. We're going to just once again bring up the size, change position, and let's bring up the shadow node. This one, I'm just going to leave it at 0.05. Now let's move on to the next one. Now for the chart, we're going to once again place it at an angle and then bring up the size, change the setting, and then that's mostly it. And then we're going to just bring a shadow node right after. Now for the softness setting, I'm going to just leave it at 0.05. All right, and let's just finish up with our stethoscope here. Let's come over and once again adjust the position and then change the size just a little bit. And then let's go ahead and just bring a shadow node right after. For this one, I'm just also going to leave it at 0.05. Now, one last note here is that this is a preliminary draft of our canvas composition. We'll likely come back and make some changes later on as the animation progresses. All right, now let's go ahead and just bring in a transform node, but pay attention to this transform node because under the animation, you will see that we have a motion blur setting. So what I'm gonna do is just to crank it up to 1, and then we're going to just start zooming to the first half of our canvas here. Now let's go ahead and set a keyframe for zoom as well as the precision setting. Now let's move over about 1.5 seconds, and then we're going to keyframe again by zooming into this canvas a little bit more, and then just change the precision X here a little bit. So now I'm getting this kind of zooming look, and then we're going to pause for about 1 second or so, and then we're going to set another keyframe for the precision X setting. And let's move over another second or so, and then just move it over to the second half of our canvas. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we'll come back and make some changes to the chart as well as the stethoscope, as I think it's a little bit too big. So what I will do now is to come back to these merge nodes, resize, and then reposition them so that they're going to look much better on the screen. Now, as far as the look of this animation goes, you can see that it's going to kind of zoom in on the canvas here real quick in the beginning, and then we're gonna just pan over to the left. Now, as a result of us changing motion blur setting earlier, we now have a nice blur as well. Now, to make all this better, we're just going to bring up the spline setting. We're going to change our keyframe interpolation. So let's select the first set of keyframes here. We're going to just bring up the ease in, ease out setting here. Now for easing, I'm going to stretch it all the way to the left. Now for ease out, I'm going to also stretch it all the way down to the left so that it's going to be 0. Now for the second set of keyframes for precision X setting here, I'm going to do a similar thing for easing, but for ease out, I'm going to just stretch it out a little bit. Now this is mostly it as far as the canvas animation goes. Now as a result of us changing the keyframes, you're going to see that we're also going to get better motion blur as well. Alright, now to take our effect to the next level, one of the things we're going to do here is to bring the texture picture connected to it as a foreground. Now you're going to notice the size is a little bit off, so we are going to bring resize node. This will fix it right away. Now let's come over to the merge node here. Let's change the apply mode to overlay. This will right away, as you can see, it's going to give this whole effect a really cool texture. Now you can change the gain setting here depending on how strong you want it to look. But this is a really good way to just add some extra texture to our look. Now the next thing we're going to do is to bring a camera shake. Now for the camera shake node here, we're going to just bring down the motion scale quite a bit and then bring the speed scale all the way up to the other end. So they are going in the opposite direction. Now, the next thing we're going to do here is to bring a prism blur node. And the first thing we're going to do here is to move the position of the prism blur so that it's going to be a little bit away from the center. This will just provide better focus for the background canvas. Now, we're going to start to bring down the blur strength, bring down aberration distance, but bring up aberration strength. So I don't want too much blur, but I do want the chromatic aberration to be predominant in this effect. Now the other thing I'm going to do here is to come over to the second half of this effect, and then all I'm going to do is just to move the position of the chromatic aberration a little bit over to the left so that it's going to look better for the second half. Okay, so for the next part here, let's go ahead and add our text. So let's go ahead and bring a text node connected to the prism blur node as a foreground. We're also going to project this merge node on the screen so that you can see the entire canvas. Now let's come over and then change to the font type first of all, and then start to write our text in the text box. Then let's go ahead and just come over to the layout tab, move our text over to the right hand side of the screen, and then we're going to come back to the text node, right click, and then we're going to select the character level styling, select the second line of the text, and then we're going to come over to the modifiers tab, start to reduce the size of the text. All right, so this looks really good. We're going to look at this entire animation here. You're going to see that it's kind of dead center in the middle of the first half of our animation. And then we're going to come over to the shading tab here real quick, change the color of the text to black. And then let's go to the third element here. Let's click enable. This will enable the shadow. We're going to change the color of the shadow to yellow to make the text stand out. And then we're going to just change the offset position here. This will just change the position of the shadow, but this is mainly it. We're going to keep it very simple for the first set of texts. All right, so now let's move on to the second text here. Let's just bring in a text node and connect it to the first one right after. And then we're going to come over to the second half of the animation. Now for this one, let's first of all change the font here. And then we are going to project this merge node on the screen so that we can see the whole effect. Now let's go back to the text node. Let's write our text in the text box. And then we're going to just reduce the overall text size here. Just start to bring down the size setting. And then let's come over to the layout tab and then just move our entire text over to the left hand side, which is the second half of this animation. Now, if we project this whole animation on the screen, you guys can see what it looks like. Now let's go over to the shading tab here, change the color of the text first of all to black. And then we're gonna, once again, enable the third element, which is the shadow. Change the color of the shadow, first of all, to yellow, yellowish. And then we're going to kind of experiment or mess with the offset setting here just to change it ever so slightly. Nothing too crazy because the way it is right now looks pretty good already. And that's mostly it. Now, one other thing I will do differently here is that for the second half here, let's create a very simple animation. So we are going to go back to the text node here. Now, as we approach the second half of the animation, let's keyframe the right on setting. Let's just bring it all the way down to 0. Now let's move over about half a second, and then we're just gonna bring it back up to 1. That's it, a simple right-on animation for the second text. All right, now let's wrap up with what I call micro movements. So we are going to start to add some micro movements to individual components of the canvas. So let's start with the doctor's image here. So what we're gonna do is to make this image start to increase gradually in size throughout the first half of the animation. So let's come over to the middle of the animation here. Let's just add a keyframe for the size setting. Now let's come over to the beginning of this clip. We're going to start to just decrease the size setting here, just ever so slightly. The key to this is to make everything super subtle. So we're going to just bring down the size a little bit. So now you will see that throughout the first half of the animation, the image just looks like it's kind of gradually increasing in size. All right, now let's move on to the other one here, which is going to be the Polaroid image. We're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to set a keyframe for the size setting in the middle of the screen, and I come over to the beginning. Let's start to just decrease it a little bit there. So this will just make it look like the Polaroid image is gradually increasing size throughout the first half of this animation. This will just kind of really help sell the effect. Now let's move on to the second half of the animation here. So we're going to focus first of all on the chart. So let's come over to this merge node right here, which controls the chart. We're gonna add a keyframe for the size setting in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the animation, and then we're gonna move over to the very end, add another keyframe, and then for this one, we're going to make it go up in size towards the end of the animation. So you will see that it will just look like the chart is kind of slowly moving throughout the second half of this animation. It just makes this whole thing look like it's coming alive, right? It looks really good. And once again, the key here really is to make sure that the changes are subtle. You don't want everything to be happening too fast, too abruptly. Now for the last one, which is going to be the stethoscope, let's come over to the last merge node here. What we'll do for this one, instead of make it go up in size, what I want to do for the stethoscope is to make it kind of turn a little bit, all right, throughout the animation. So let's keyframe the angle setting here, and then we're just going to turn up the angle setting a little bit, about 4 or 5 degrees or so. That's it. But it's going to make it look like it's kind of slowly turning right throughout the animation, which is really cool. And as a matter of fact, what I will do right now is to go back to the merge node that controls this doctor's image. And you will see that by changing the angle setting there just a little bit, you will see that this will just add some nice micro movements to this image. So what I will do is to just right click this angle setting, go to modify width, and then let's select shake. Then let's go to the modifiers tab, and we're going to first of all look at the minimum and the maximum, right? That will define the range of the change. We're gonna leave it at 1 for now, and then we're going to just bring up the smoothness setting, and then you will see that looks just really good. It will add a nice slight movement to this image. But one thing I think I will do though is to go to the maximum there and then just change it to 2 instead of 1. So still very subtle, and then we're going to click reseed, right? So just to make it very random. And you will see that just by adding micro movements like wiggles, a size change will just really help to sell this effect. All right, you guys, this is pretty much it. So let's take this back to the edit page. Let's just let this render, and you guys can see that, yeah, this is the documentary style motion graphic animation that you can easily create in DaVinci Resolve. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, I will see you next time.